We had an email last week at MBY Towers, and it simply said, would you like to come and have a go on this? And it took us about half a second to reply yes, and the reason for that was twofold. Firstly, it came from Dave Cockwell, who builds some of the most exquisite boats in the UK, and secondly, it had a photograph attached of this. So this is a 10.5 metre custom built one-off. It's a cold moulded wooden hull. In fact, the whole boat is wood with a teak veneer finish. It's got a pair of Yanmar 320 horsepower diesel engines running on jet drives, and the idea of it is to be a really exclusive one-off day boat for the Mediterranean. So it's the kind of thing you'd use running up and down the Med between Monaco and Saint-Tropez, going out for picnics and just having a great time on the water in something that's really different. Now, although the style and the concept of this boat is quite traditional, when you get on board, everything's bang up to date. So you've got your traditional beautifully wrought wood in areas like this, and right next to it you've got fully electronic touchscreen system. So the whole boat is controlled from here, everything from the bimini to the lights to the heads, even the engine hatch is controlled from here, all on a touchscreen. But the detailing is particularly exquisite, and a great example of that is things like on the foredeck, where normally you'd have caulking between the teak. On this boat you've got beautiful copper strips, and that's in a herringbone pattern, comes right across the foredeck, and then it's echoed in the floor just here. But one of my favourite features on this boat is the anchor system, which is a custom system built specifically for this boat, and it's like something out of James Bond. Now, the inside of this boat is as exquisite as the outside. Clearly it is very much a day boat cabin, but that said, you have got enough room here to sleep. This will convert to a double bed. You've also got a very nice galley area. It's got a one burner hob and a very high quality oven, and even a coffee machine, and of course there's a fridge and a sink in there as well. This whole area is air conditioned, and there's a heads over on the starboard side, but what really shines through down here again is the exquisite detailing. And a perfect example of that is this headlining, which is actually screen printed silk with original artwork. You've also got down here some very clever details, like the lighting is all inset. You've got little coat hooks positioned just up here that flick out of the sides if you want them. And what's really nice is things like the copper inlay in the flooroid sections, which matches the deck, and even where the drawers and things like that are, it's got the same effect there, so it matches the outside of the boat. It really is absolutely exquisite. Anyway, beautiful though it is to look at, what I really want to know is what it drives like, so let's go and have a go at that next. Now, intriguingly, Dave Cockwell suggested that he gives me a quick demonstration of exactly what this boat will do before I get my hands on it, because apparently it's quite impressive. So I'm going to point the camera at Dave, and we'll see what he can do with it. Here we go. See what I'm holding on? Yeah. Okay, so it's my turn to have a go now, and I've been told to be fairly sensitive to the throttles, so we'll nudge her forward And in fact, she's not really going into gear because there are no propellers. The jet's running constantly. All that's doing is redirecting the thrust out of the back of the boat so we start moving forward. So although you control it like a conventional boat, what's happening at the back is quite different. Opening to those throttles, then, yeah, there's a serious amount of grunt there. A lot of power. So there's 640 horsepower running straight through those jets. And what's interesting is the controls are really minimalist. There's a steering wheel, there's throttles, and that's it. There's no trim tabs, there's no outdrives to trim. You just open the throttles and go. Now that is already at 32 knots, and that is a really easy cruising gait. That's not trying at all. So let's wind her open and see what she'll do. What's nice is that the bow stays really level. There's no lifting up and dropping down as the speed picks up. That's now running at 38, now 39 knots. She'll top out at about 40 knots. But what I'm quite interested to try is that handling. And what I've been told is that pretty much any speed I can just throw it at the turn, it'll go. Not quite brave enough to try it at 40 knots, but that's 34, so let's try that. Here we go. Yeah, that is pretty impressive. It's like a big rib, it just grips and goes. Of course, there's no cavitation at all because there's nothing to cavitate. Those jets just keep pushing no matter what, nothing to let go. And if you gun it in a turn, you just turn sharper. And the grip is absolutely phenomenal. But I think what I most like about it is the way that the boat rides. Because it's a wooden boat, it's really absorbing the shock of hitting the water beautifully. And there's a different feel to this kind of boat. It feels absolutely brilliant.